I'm trying to get 100 platinum trophies. I have tons of games on my shelf waiting to be platinumed, and in this video we're platinuming Kronos is a survival horror game that was developed and published by Bloober Team. It was released digitally on September 5th, 2025, but if you're like me and prefer physical over digital, we had to wait another 2 weeks before we could grab a copy for the shelf. We play as an agent known as the Traveler, who works for this company called the Collective, and we're tasked with surviving this post-apocalyptic Poland. In this world, there was an outbreak that turned all humans into these terrifying monstrosities known as Orphans, which makes this the second game in a row where we've had to deal with Orphans. And our goal is to fight our way through and find these time rifts so we can travel back to the 1980s to extract select individuals who didn't survive the event. The best comparison I can make about this game is imagine Dead Space but without the space, and with a hefty 48 trophies to get through, it's time to stop talking and start traveling. The game starts off with us being awoken from our hypersleep due to the Traveler before us kicking the bucket. To test our mental function, we're given a couple Rorschach tests before being released from our shackles and given our starting pistol. Our first mission is to find our fallen predecessor so we can retrieve an anchor device from his corpse, and after shooting our way out of our sarcophagus, we get our first trophy, Welcome to the Vocation. Hey, first trophy already. Welcome to the Vocation. Alright. We get our bearings while making our way through this desolate wasteland and find ourselves at an abandoned apartment complex. Inside, we find some energy which is used as currency to upgrade our weapons, along with some resources that can be used to craft healing items and more ammo, which is what we use to get the trophy Resources Are Scarce when we fabricate our first item. Hey, resources are scarce. We also find our first travelogue, which contains messages from previous travelers to assist us along our journey, and with a total of 27 of them scattered around, we're going to be searching high and low for them so we can get the trophy The Archivist later on. Before we can proceed into the next room, we need to find 2 fuses to power this door, and after locating them, we get the trophy Raging Bull when we had our first encounter with an orphan and panicked when we ran out of ammo. Oh!
No. Wait. Wait.
Hey! Raging Bull. Defeat an enemy with a melee attack. Hell yeah. Those things are strong, bro. After powering up the door, we make our way to this hotel where we get to see the special ability these orphans have. They can merge with other dead orphans to make themselves more powerful. And this dude came out swinging. Oh, he's got me. Oh. Get the fuck off me! We're eventually able to take him out, but not before he pushed our shit in and left us with no resources. I have 1 bullet and no health. This is great. I got a key though, so lucky me. We use that key we just found to open up a door that leads to some stairs with a stray cat sitting at the bottom of them. Hi! This is actually the first of 10 cats we'll need to find for the trophy The Pathfinder, and after petting it, it teleports away, dropping an item for us in the process. Oh! You're too kind, thank you. We make our way a little bit further and locate the station we can use to upgrade our suit and weapons in exchange for cores and energy. Just outside the door of the upgrade station, we find another travelogue that mentions how fire can be used to burn the biomass the orphans create, and after testing this theory out for ourselves, it gets us the trophy Rapid Oxidation. Oh. Hey, rapid oxidation. Burn the biomass. Cool. We can also use this torch to burn orphan corpses, which will keep the living ones from being able to merge with them. We have to fight our way through a couple more orphans before making it outside, where we get our next trophy, Space-Time Oddity, after finding this emitter device that allows us to manipulate time oddities. Hey, Space-Time Oddity. Activated Time Oddity. Alright. The time oddities can change the environment around us, and after crossing over the bridge it just made, we get the trophy Such Is Our Calling when we find our predecessor, along with the anchor device he was carrying. Hey, Such Is Our Calling. Find the predecessor. Okay. We're just getting all the trophies, bro. I love it.
The predecessor.
The predecessor.
3500.
The anchor is super important because it's the only way for us to travel through rifts in time and extract the essence of the individuals that are selected by the Collective, and this is where we're given our first target, Edward Wisniewski. Our first dive location is located at a nearby housing project, so that's where we're headed to next. In the first building we stop at, we find a comic book sitting on the table, which is just another type of collectible we'll have to keep track of, and we need to find 9 more along the way in order to get the trophy Unadulterated Joy. In the same building, we also find our first additional weapon, the hammer shotgun, which will definitely come in handy later on.
It will help gain an advantage in close quarters.
We actually didn't have to wait too long to test it out because we get ambushed by some orphans, and during the scuffle we ended up getting the trophy Don't Let Them Merge for burning a total of 25 orphan corpses with a torch. There's so many of them, what the hell? Don't let them merge, alright, I can't really check what that is, but I'll take it. We're able to survive the ambush, and we continue towards that housing complex where we now need to find our way up to Edward's apartment on the 4th floor. The only way to get up there is by using the elevator, which is completely chained up, but lucky for us, there just so happens to be a set of bolt cutters we can use located in this shop out in the courtyard. We use our newly acquired bolt cutters to break the lock and take the elevator up to the 4th floor where we're greeted to our first boss fight against the unmerged one. Oh. What is that, bro? The way we have to defeat it is by stunning it with fire and then shooting it in these orange growths on its body, and after landing the final shot, we're able to secure the trophy Suppressed Recomposition. Got his ass! Suppressed Recomposition. Defeat the unmerged one. Hell yeah, that was my last shot too. Holy shit, bro. Alright. I have no ammunition left. It was at this point I realized that we missed one of the cats earlier in the level, however it's too late to go back now because the door locked behind us when the boss fight started, meaning we'll have to come back to get that Pathfinder trophy in another run. Thankfully for the platinum, we already have to do a second run of the game on New Game Plus, so this isn't too much of a hassle. I'm just disappointed because I wanted to save all the kitties in a single run. But whatever, all we can do now is move on to our next trophy, Temporal Destination Reach, which we get after going through our first time rift. Temporal destination reached. Oh yeah. Execute a dive for the first time. This takes us back to the 80s and drops us off in Edward's apartment, but there's no sign of Edward here. We head out and search for him and find a shelter located out in the courtyard, which of course is locked, meaning we're gonna have to find a key for it, but apparently we're not the only ones looking for it. From now on, I am adamant. Starting from 10 o'clock in the evening, the doors to the building are locked and I'm the only person with the key. 1512. I have lost the key. We were able to find the key in this storage area after fighting off a couple orphans, which really caught me off guard because I was not expecting to run into them while we were back in time. With the key now in our possession, we're able to enter into the shelter where we find this woman named Angela, along with our target, Edward. Edward actually recognizes us and starts being hysterical about it, making Angela think he's just having another psychotic break, so she gets the hell out of there. This leaves just the two of us, which allows us to do what we came here for and extract Edward's essence, getting us the trophy, Essence Acquired. Hey, Essence Acquired. We then head back through the rift to our own time and upload Edward's essence to the terminal, which gets us the trophy, the Ascendance. Hey, the Ascendance. Execute an Ascendance sequence for the first time. During the Ascendance sequence, we're actually able to converse with Edward's essence, which no traveler has ever been able to do before, and he tells us it was actually the collective that caused the disease and how it all started back in the Steelworks. He also mentions a steelworker by the name of Ardor, but before he can elaborate more, something blocks us from completing our ascension and we wake up in a room surrounded by all the cats we've rescued so far.
No.
After leaving the room, we're greeted by a mysterious man known as the Warden, who looks like a total badass and immediately becomes my favorite character due to his love for cats.
You mean our little famished, fluffy friends? Sometimes they just knock things off tables and workbenches, but I don't resent them for that. They just crave a little attention, like we all do. Beautiful creatures. So sublime. Almost perfect.
He actually used to be a traveler like us, however during one of his missions he got injured to the point where he could no longer perform extractions, and rather than being decommissioned, he was assigned to help the collective in another way and basically became a glorified mechanic who repairs malfunctions that the system can't fix on their own. The reason he's here is because something is broken with the terminal, which is what caused our ascension to get cut short, which he offers to fix for us, but it's going to take him some time. While he's working on that, we head out to find our next target, Ardor Berica, that steelworker that Edward mentioned to us earlier. The Steelworks is too far to get to on foot, so the Warden suggests we use the tram, but we'll need to find a way to power it up first. We head down into the depths of the station to see what we can uncover, and come across two dudes that we drop with headshots, which gets us the trophy Better Than One for landing a total of 25 headshots. Missed, alright. Hey, Better Than One. There are 2 generators down here we'll need to activate in order to power up the tram, and while searching for them, we come across this device we can attach to our gun that turns green whenever we hover over alive enemies. However, it only seems to work some of the time. Hey, I looked at you. You said you weren't alive. What the hell is that? That was some bullshit. It said it wasn't alive. We power up both generators and hop on the tram where we find a fallen traveler whose essence is actually still intact. So we download it to our phylactery, which gets us the trophy to bring them back. Hey, to bring them back? What's that? Transfer an essence from a fallen traveler. Alright, I'll take it. And this essence is really going to come in handy too, because it gives us a 10% bonus on any credits we find going forward. And this is actually the first of 5 travelers we need to extract for the trophy The Preserver, but we're not going to worry about that in this run, and we'll come back to it during our New Game Plus run. For now, we just start up the tram so we can head to the Steelworks, which gets us the trophy Public Transport. Hey, Public Transport. Power up the tram. Alright. We arrive on the outskirts of the Steelworks and have to fight our way through a bunch of orphans acting like it's Operation Desert Storm before making it to a safe house where we see that our next rift is all the way at the top of this giant tower. We're gonna have to find a way up to it somehow, and it won't be as easy as last time where we just took an elevator. We scrounge around the safe house a little bit and find this device known as a pyre, which is basically an incendiary grenade that's triggered by movement, but it can also be activated by shooting or stomping on it, which is how we got our next trophy, the Pyromaniac, after we used it to burn some biomass blocking our path. Do that. And yeah, the Pyromaniac. The Steelworks is considered to be ground zero for the outbreak, so it's crawling with every type of orphan imaginable. And this becomes very apparent when we come across an area packed full of enemies who only seem to react to our presence after we steal some of the electronics that they were worshipping. Thank you, I'm out. See you later, sorry. Gotta go. These electronics are of no use to the collective, or the orphans for that matter. However, they're valuable for us as we can sell them for a bunch of energy, which not only allows us to upgrade our weapons faster, but we also need to find and sell 15 of them to get the trophy, the Contribution. We'll circle back to that in a minute though, because for now we continue exploring around the Steelworks, and end up getting the trophy Efficiency Discipline when we took out 2 headless orphans with a single bullet. Let me see if I can line these guys up and get 2 for 1. Hold on. Trying to do something here. Yeah! Efficiency Discipline. Defeat 2 enemies with a single sword projectile. Oh god, those guys are a little bit bigger. After that, we make our way into another safe room where we find our next additional weapon, the Dagger Pistol, which is an auto pistol that shares the same bullets as our main pistol. It does way less damage than our starting pistol though, so we deposit it into our stash where it'll never see the light of day again because we don't have the resources to be wasting ammo like that. Deeper inside the never-ending Steelworks, we come across this orphan den that's full of these acid-spitting spider orphans. And no, I'm not talking about the amazing spider orphan. These are by far the most annoying type of enemy in the game, as most of the time you hear them before you see them and end up getting domed in the back of the head with acid before you get a chance to react. After dealing with a lot of them, we find another fallen traveler laying on the ground that we loot for his sick anti-grav boots. These give us the ability to walk on walls and jump between these special gravity platforms, which got us the trophy Counter-Gravity Traversal when we tested them out for the first time. That's sick. Hey, Counter-Gravity Traversal. Nice. And with these equipped, we can now finally reach the dive point at the top of the tower and head back in time to locate our next target, Arter Berica. Instead of finding Arter though, we run into this woman named Veronica Kaminsky who claims to be a doctor who used to work here when the outbreak started. She says she's alone, but her radio says otherwise when Arter chimes in and reveals that he's chilling in the foreman's office. Fearing for Arter's life, Veronica runs off to warn him about us, and even though she's not one of our targets, this won't be the last time our paths cross. Well, at least now we know Arter's whereabouts, so we start making our way towards the foreman's office, and along the way we find another one of those valuable electronics, which is actually the last one we needed for the trophy, the Contribution that I mentioned earlier. Hey, Contribution. Sell 15 valuable items. Love it. We continue on our search for Arter, only to get stopped in our tracks by a giant orphan animal hybrid thing that bursts through the wall in front of us, triggering our second boss fight. Oh, fuck me, bro. This thing is built like a tank and deflects anything we try to throw at it, but in order to get the trophy the bigger they are, we have to find a way to defeat it, and it took us multiple attempts before we realized that the only way to deal any damage to it is by shooting the exposed body hanging from its arm. We absolutely unloaded on this thing and weren't even sure if we were doing any damage until we finally stuck a well-placed pyro shot right in his arm. The bigger they are. Wait, what is that? Did I win? Oh my gosh, I beat it. That was crazy, bro. After dealing with that abomination, it unlocks the door leading to the foreman's office where we locate Arter, along with his brother Gabriel, who isn't doing so hot.
Our bones! The pain! Our pain!
For our next trophy, My Brother's Keeper, we just have to extract either one of the brothers, and Arter begs us to take Gabriel to stop his suffering, but he isn't our target, so we push past him and extract Arter instead.
I came for you.
Hey, My Brother's Keeper. And with him extracted, we can now finally leave the Steelworks and head back to our own time. We arrive back at the terminal, but aren't able to activate the Ascendant sequence due to the Warden disconnecting the power to make some repairs. To reconnect the power, we just have to head into this restaurant and start a few generators, which allows us to launch the Ascendant sequence again, where we have a little chat with Arter. He mentions there was a traveler back at the Steelworks that got captured, which caught the attention of the military and all the doctors in the area. One of these doctors was Dr. Zybert, who was fascinated with the traveler and wanted to find out everything he knew. We don't get much more information from him before the sequence ends, so our goal now is to locate this Dr. Zybert and find out what he knows about the traveler. We find out he's hiding out in this old hospital, so the Warden powers up the door leading to it so we can make our way over there. Along the way, we find our fourth weapon, the Javelin Carbine, which, due to the lack of inventory space and it doing basically as much damage as a pea shooter, oh fuck the carbine bro, this shit sucks ass. We don't hold on to it very long before tossing it into our storage with the other gun. This hospital is a lot further away than I thought it would be, but eventually we reach a safe room in the outskirts where we find a blueprint for the last item we need to get the trophy to pave the path for crafting one of every item. Wait, can I make it? Oh, I can. I think I'm about to get a trophy. Let's see. Wait for her to stop talking. I should be able to get a trophy here. Yeah! To pave the path. Fabricate all items. Hell yeah. After leaving the safe room, we have to venture through some San Francisco level fog to make it to the hospital. I can't see a goddamn thing. Upon entering inside, we see that our next rift is waiting for us right on the other side of the door, and it's nice to see one actually on ground level this time. We take the dive through the rift where we're greeted by the sound of Veronica's voice, and apparently she's found a way to trap herself inside the elevator. Since this was the hospital that every infected patient was brought to, a large amount of biomass is accumulated here, which has blocked the elevator and created some sort of nest. Veronica mentions how her and her team were working on a toxin that can clear the biomass, but they hadn't finished creating it yet, so we're tasked with finding these 3 specific formulas scattered around the hospital so we can whip it up ourselves. We then spent the next 2 hours venturing through the entire hospital to find them, and while doing so, we get to talking with Veronica about the captured traveler. She mentions how she was sent in by the government to interrogate the traveler for information, however they just ended up talking for hours on end and got very close to one another before the government came in and separated them as she wasn't getting the answers they wanted. Also, while searching around, we also found our 5th weapon, which is the Mace double-barrel shotgun, and it's super powerful, but it wastes way too much ammo as it shoots both shots with a single trigger pull, so we don't hang on to it for very long. Anyway, after finding all 3 of the formulas, we tossed them into a centrifuge to create the toxin. We then took this toxin to the literal heart of the biomass and injected it inside, which destroys the nest and frees Veronica from the elevator.
I did it.
After doing so, we lose contact with Veronica, so we hop down the now cleared elevator to figure out what happened to her. We don't make it very far before triggering our 3rd boss fight against this enemy that looks to be a combination of the 1st and the 2nd boss. Oh, what the hell is that? Great, another fucking boss fight. I don't know what to do about that. It moves like the Steelworks boss, but acts like the apartment boss where we have to shoot it in the orange growth exposed on its body, and after taking it down, we're able to secure the trophy down with the sickness. Get shit on. Gotta get up, getting it down with the sickness. After that interaction, we're able to find Veronica along with Dr. Zybert, who at this point is only recognizable by his ID badge. Unable to read the room, we ask Veronica again about the location of the missing traveler, which she doesn't know, but she does reveal that he referred to himself as the Pathfinder. It turns out that Veronica was actually the Pathfinder's original target, but for whatever reason he never went through with the extraction. We believe that if we extract Dr. Zybert, he might be able to give us some information on how to locate the Pathfinder, and after doing so, we got the trophy for good and for ill. Hey, for good and for ill. Extract Dr. Zybert. We can only hold 3 essences at a time in our phylactery, so we overwrite the essence we got from that traveler back on the tram, because in this run we're going for the trophy the Orthodox, which we get by finishing the game with only the essences appointed to us by the collective, which are Edward, Arter, and Dr. Zybert. After completing the extraction, we end up back at the terminal where we tell the Warden all about this so-called Pathfinder. He mentions that he may have seen that name somewhere in his archives, but he'll have to do some digging to find out what it means. While he's doing that, we launch another Ascendant sequence to try to get some answers from Dr. Zybert. Instead of finding Dr. Zybert though, we're met with Angela, Edward's girlfriend, which really doesn't make any sense because we never extracted her, but what's even weirder is somehow she has access to Dr. Zybert's memories. We talk to Dr. Zybert through Angela, and he tells us that an execution order was given for the Pathfinder, so he had his daughter Eliza hide him in the Abbey on the outskirts of town, so I guess that's where we're headed to next. To reach the Abbey, we'll need to use another tram, and in order to gain access to the station, we'll first need to use the device that the Warden gave us called a conductor. With it, we can create a path of electricity from a generator to the door lock, and after doing so, it gets us the trophy, Do Travelers Dream of Electric Sheep. Hey! Do Travelers Dream of Electric Sheep. Power up a device with a conductor. With the station now unlocked, we make our way inside, and as expected, we first need to power up a couple generators before we can ride the tram. While doing so, we gain access to this toy store where we find the most overpowered weapon in the game, the Arbalist rifle. However, we'll have to use it pretty sparingly as ammo for it is super hard to come by and we can't even craft more of it like we can with our other weapons. We continue onward to the second generator where we're met with our 4th boss fight against another one of those terrors like the one we faced in the Steelworks, except this one has acid breath. It's the same process as before, just shoot it in the exposed body on its arm, and after taking it down we get the trophy Hit Like a Train. Oh, got his ass! Hit like a train. Defeat the terror at Station B. I didn't even take that much damage either. Hell yeah. And with that dealt with, we can now power up the generator and use the tram to reach the Abbey. After stepping off the tram, we find a safe room where we can finally add that last damage upgrade to our pistol, which gets us the trophy, May It Serve You Fault Free. Can I upgrade my weapon yet? Am I far enough? Oh, I can. Hell yeah. This should get me a trophy right here. Yeah, may it serve you fault free. Fully upgrade a single weapon. From there, we eventually make it to the church courtyard where we find another safe room inside this bell tower, which houses the final weapon we need for the trophy, the Boon of the Relics, but before we can get it, there are a couple steps we need to take. First, we have to enter into the secret room to get a cemetery key. Then, once inside the cemetery, we have to sneak through a crack in the wall to find this cat that drops another key, which unlocks an office back in the courtyard. And then inside that office, we find a third key, which gives us access to the second floor of the bell tower, where we find the Lance Carbine waiting for us inside. And I get another weapon. Hey, the Boon of the Relics. Find all the weapons. Nice. And now that we have all the weapons, we spent some time and credits resetting and upgrading every single weapon to its fullest for the trophy, the Praetorian, and thankfully we don't need to have every weapon upgraded at the same time, or else that would have taken us like 3 to 4 full playthroughs. Alright, and trophy? Yeah! The Praetorian. I'm probably butchering that, but fully upgrade all weapons. And we definitely cheesed that, but I'll take it. Alright, now that all the weapon-related trophies are taken care of, our focus now is finding a way into the Abbey, which is locked behind this puzzle door. It's missing 3 statue keys, which we'll have to venture deep into the catacombs of the cemetery to find. There's a child key, a trident key, and a sword key, and after putting them all in the correct orientation, we're granted access to the Abbey. Inside, we find Dr. Zybert's daughter, Eliza, who seems to have taken the saying, "become one with the church," a little too literally, as she's mutated into this hideous monster whose body spreads out through the entirety of the Abbey. In order to defeat her, we need to shoot these orange growths spread throughout the Abbey, similar to the first boss, all while she's spitting acid at us. Oh, she's barfing on me. She also sends out these headless orphans en masse, which actually works in our favor because we're able to snag a handful of trophies because of it. We're able to secure fire spreading for setting 5 enemies on fire with a single torch blast, the Annihilator for defeating 5 enemies with a single shot of the Arbalist rifle, and the Anvil of the Collective for defeating 4 enemies with a single shot of the Hammer shotgun, all within a minute of each other. I gotta get them in the right position. Ow, it's okay, it's okay. Oh, there's 5, ready? And burn! Yeah, fire spreading. And now, can I get them all with 1 arrow blast? Yeah, the Annihilator. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Oh, there's 4. Alright, line them up. Yeah, the Anvil of the Collective. Hell yeah, bro. We continue shooting all the growths until Eliza eventually opens up her chest, revealing her heart, and we finish her off with a single shot from the Arbalest rifle for the trophy, the Sacrifice of the Flesh, netting us 4 trophies from a single boss fight. Right in the heart! Yeah, the Sacrifice of the Flesh. Hell yeah. We just got 4 trophies with that one battle. Hell yeah. After defeating Eliza, she releases the hold she has on the Traveler's corpse, and it's revealed to us that this so-called Pathfinder is actually the Warden. The Warden has got some explaining to do, so we grab his body and book it back to the tram with it, which gets us the trophy, the Pathfinder. Hey, the Pathfinder. Get the Pathfinder to the tram. We arrive back to the terminal, body in hand, and find orphan corpses scattered all over the place. We can't really worry about that right now because we got bigger fish to fry and take the body to the Warden's hidden room in the back. He's nowhere to be found in here, but we do find a key to the police station, so we head over there next to see if he might be hiding in there. Alright. Oh! Bro, what was the point of the key if you're just gonna do that shit? We fight our way through these orphans and head into the police station where we find the last comic book we need to get the trophy Unadulterated Joy. Hey, Unadulterated Joy. Nice. From there, we make our way deeper inside and come across a bunch of fallen travelers stuffed into these holding cells. Inside one of the holding cells, there's actually a hole in the wall we can go through, and after making our way inside, the cell door closes behind us, so it looks like the only way we can go now is forward. We maneuver our way through a maze of tunnels where we start to hallucinate, and during our hallucination, we end up having to fight 2 unmerged ones at the same time. It was a pretty annoying fight being in such close quarters, but we're able to take them out pretty quickly, which brings us back to reality. After recovering from our acid trip, we make our way into a room where we have to use our conductor again to provide power to this door lock, which ended up taking us a lot longer to figure out than I'd like to admit. Why won't you connect to the fucking wall, bro? What the hell? What the fuck? Why won't it connect? Eventually we figure it out though, which opens up a locked door in the back of the Warden's office, which is where we get our next trophy, Fixing Things. Inside the room we find something pretty disturbing. It holds the remains of Veronica's body and it's hooked up to a bunch of wires and machines. We're disgusted by what we just saw, so we rip her body down, which causes us to glitch out and start visualizing a bunch of flashbacks. Hey, Fixing Things. Discover the Warden's secret. It turns out that inside this suit, we've been Veronica this whole time, and the Warden was having us go back in time to collect the essences of her friends and colleagues to try to complete her memories and make us the Veronica we once were, but obviously things didn't go as he planned.
You are not her.
Desperate to start over, the Warden, or the Pathfinder, or whatever you want to call him, creates a new rift in time, and we follow close behind him to try and stop him from reaching Veronica again. After making it through, we arrive at the safe room where we listen to the final travel log we need for the trophy, the Archivist. Oh nice, the last travel log, let's grab it. The Archivist. Find all the travel logs, hell yeah. While we're here, we stock up on supplies and make any final upgrades to our weapons in preparation for our inevitable showdown against the Warden. This rift took us to a place that's completely in ruins, so we have to take a couple grab jumps before eventually meeting up with Veronica inside this clock tower. We try to warn her about what our future holds, but the Warden butts in and teleports us away from her, triggering our final boss fight against him.
I will do what I must.
This fight was especially frustrating because the Warden loves to teleport behind us whenever we try to shoot him. And apparently he's Thor, the god of thunder, because he also shoots balls of electricity at us. After an intense battle with many location changes, we're able to bring him to his knees and he begs us to let him go so we can start over and try to save Veronica again. We're dead set on ending him right here and now, but Veronica stops us and tries to convince us to spare him, so now we're given a choice to make. Alright, I'm gonna shoot him because he's pissing me off. With the Warden gone, the last thing we do before perishing is opening up a rift to send Veronica back to her own time before any of this happened, ending the game and getting us 3 more trophies. Nice, I am free for shooting the Pathfinder, the Orthodox for finishing the game with only the essence appointed by the collective, and Punk's Not Dead for finish the game with Edward's essence. Hell yeah. Before we move on, we reload our save real quick and fight the Warden again, except this time we choose to spare him so we can get the trophy A Flicker of Hope. And in doing so, it keeps us alive and allows him and Veronica to go back through the rift together.
I am sorry for everything. Veronica.
Nice. A flicker of hope. Spare the Pathfinder. Alright. After beating the game, not only does it unlock New Game Plus and Hard Mode, which we need to complete for their corresponding trophies, but it also gives us a badass new suit to use.
Nice.
Hard Mode supposedly makes the enemies, well, harder, but since we carry over our suit and weapon upgrades from the first run, we didn't really notice a difference in difficulty. During this run, our main goal is to do some cleanup on the trophies we missed in our last run, the first of which is the trophy Forged in Fire, which we get by fully upgrading our suit. And with this, I should be able to fully upgrade my suit. Hey, Forged in Fire. Fully upgrade the Traveler's Temporal Shell. Hell yeah. Speaking of upgrades, even with our suit's inventory upgraded to the fullest, it only gives us 12 slots to work with, which is not enough space to carry 4 weapons, ammo for each, health kits, torch fuel, and story related items. So for the entirety of the run, we were just rocking the starting pistol, the hammer shotgun, and occasionally the arbalist rifle when the situation called for it. The next trophy on our list is the Cat Finder, which we get by finding and petting that last cat we missed during our first run. What up, dude? Yeah, the Cat Finder! Pet all the cats. Love it. We then spent the rest of the run collecting the essences from the 5 fallen travelers scattered around so we could get 2 more trophies. First was the trophy Togetherness, which we got by finding all 3 members of the Marzek family and having their essences in our phylactery at the same time. Yeah, Togetherness. Gather together the essences of Lydia, Marcel, and Christoph. Hell yeah. This is followed shortly by the trophy The Preserver for finding and extracting the remaining 2 travelers. Yeah, the Preserver. Transfer the essences from all fallen travelers. Love it. And with that, our cleanup is complete, and all we have left to do now is have our final showdown with the Warden again. The fight was the exact same as before, except this time we made sure to utilize the arbalist rifle a lot more to speed things up. After defeating the Warden, we have to make a choice again, but this time there's a third option to begin anew, where we leave the Warden behind and go through the rift with Veronica, breaking the cycle and freeing the hold he had on her. Hey, you never give up? Finish the game in New Game Plus. Shall not compromised. Finish the game in Hard Mode. Free from all the scars. Save both Veronicas. And the Platinum, baby, the Traveler. Hell yeah. Let's go. And with that, we complete Kronos the New Dawn and secure our 76 Platinum. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and subscribe as it definitely helps me out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.